made a lot of progress in here. One of the main things is that the outdoor space had been remodeled by their apartment complex management. And so a lot of the things that were being stored out there were in the office. So once all of that outdoor storage area got fixed up, he was able to move like ladders and different things like that back out to the storage area. But as you can see, there's still an abundance of stuff in here. Every single wall is full, and kind of all of the stuff is spilling out into the main area of the room. And up until he had moved all of the stuff back out to the storage area on their little patio, the wife really wasn't able to even get in here and easily access her computer. So I'm very proud of the progress that they have made up to this point, and it actually makes my job a whole lot easier to come in here and go through all of the stuff and declutter, because now we have some floor space to work with. So the wife is off camera, and I'm actually starting on her desk, and I am just helping her I'm just her hands and feet and legs and all of that sort of stuff. She is making all of the decisions. She's holding the garbage bag for me. And so we're just making decisions together, what gets trashed, donated, or recycled. And there is actually tons of stuff that she was able to get rid of. It's so funny working through this house, through the living room and even the dining area and in here. I think I have found literally over 20 Bibles. A lot of them they just didn't know that they had. I was like, this is such an odd find. Like a category to have like multiples of is Bibles. But that's awesome. They love to study the Bible, lots of religious material that they had kind of gone through already or read, and they were ready to pass on. So definitely maybe before they buy another Bible, see what they have already. It was just the funniest category. That and office supplies. It was hilarious. We were going through each drawer, and I was finding tape everywhere. I was like, I think y'all are set for like the next 10 Christmases for wrapping Christmas presents. And she was joking with me between all of the religious material and all of the office supplies. She was like, I could be a secretary at a church. And I was like, you were absolutely right. Anyway, so we had a good time going through all of this stuff. Really, so much progress was made, and I'm really proud of really both of their hard work. So if you watched the video that I did of their kitchen, there was a few drawers that had, some office type supplies in them. And the main goal or my thought process at that time was to get some more of those office supplies actually back into the office. Definitely want to leave them some pens and maybe one or two things of tape, different little odds and ends, but really keep it to one drawer. So I knew getting this office organized was going to be key to freeing up some of the other drawers and even some of the different areas in the living room. I knew once I got this space cleared out and organized, I could start kind of taking some of those other items that were maybe too many of those items in the other parts of their house, or maybe just didn't belong in other parts of their house, at least according to kind of how I process things, where it maybe didn't make sense to keep something in the living room or the kitchen. Like it would be more appropriate to keep it in the office, but there just was not space at that time. This room was seriously way too cluttered and crowded to bring any additional items into this room. So really, as I'm working through this apartment, everything has just kind of been a first pass. Like I couldn't get any more organized than I'm able to at that moment until we do some serious decluttering. So there are some other areas I want to do a second pass of, but I need to finish the first pass of all their rooms. And so after this office, I'm then going to move over into their bedroom. The wife's closet, I feel like could use a lot more organization. I don't feel like there's tons of clutter in it. There are probably a few things we can let go of. But I think a lot of it is just, utilizing the space a little better, just being a little bit more efficient with how she has her items in her closet organized. And I really think we can free up a lot of room. That's just kind of what this whole process is just slowly creating rooms, doing some just general rough organizing. And then we can always go back and organize even better and take a second pass at some of the things. Maybe they'll be willing to let go of a few more items on that second pass. After working on her desk off camera, I had a box. It was pretty wide, kind of shallow, but I was able to completely fill the box with tons of books, which in hindsight, I should not have done because I had to drag the box to the front door and then I just had to unload the books kind of in armfuls. It was just way too heavy to carry out to my car for me to be able to donate it, but I was super proud. Like we got rid of tons of books. A lot of the print was just too small for either of them to be able to easily read anymore. So it was just time to let those go, pass them on, let somebody else read it. But it was incredible. So I had that one box of books and about 2 large black garbage bags of just trash. Some paper, old crayons, coloring books, like adult coloring books, different things of that nature. So she made an incredible amount of progress on decluttering her space, and now she only has the things up there that she really loves and that she's able to actually read. So we are at the end of the first day that I had spent over here. I spent just an afternoon, about 3 hours from start to finish, including unloading everything on my camera and then loading up all of the donations and getting all of that dropped off. So we just got this one little space in the first day, but there was a lot to go through, a lot of paperwork and organizing that had to happen. And then I came back the following week, and then I got started in the little corner area where they have the dresser over here. You can tell outfit change. And this was just, honestly, it kind of overwhelmed me. I just didn't know what to start with. Lots of odds and ends. I didn't know what I was going to find in the dresser, but we just started at the top and worked our way down. And again, the wife is off camera with me going through this. And as I was going through it, honestly, a large portion of it was trash. There was just a lot of paperwork. That is a very common category in this house. I think it's honestly mostly the husband just has a really, really hard time getting rid of paperwork. So instead of dealing with it in the moment and deciding, okay, yes, do I really need to keep this or can I throw it away? It just kind of gets shoved in drawers and boxes. And then over time, it is just built up. So definitely a lot of paperwork in this space. But we got through the whole dresser. It was just, as we have found in other spaces, a lot of misuse, not an efficient use of the space. I was really surprised at how the dresser was actually not really being utilized to its full potential. There was a lot of empty space in there. And so that was awesome. I was like really over the moon because I knew I could pull a lot of the stuff that was on the floor and put it into the dresser. And that is what we did. Y'all, the wife was really awesome. She was able to make some really rapid fire decisions. I feel like we went through these drawers with lightning speed. And we were able to condense a lot of the pictures that she had that were previously spread out over 2 drawers. We were able to get them down to 1 drawer. So we really freed up a lot of space. There were some books in there that we got rid of as well. And so a lot of the items that were kind of scattered about, we were able to start putting them in the drawer. We found a big box of the husband's like PC and some sort of gaming system. I'm terrible at this. I don't know any of the gaming systems. Anyways, a bunch of his video games that were in the box on the right-hand side, we were actually able to get those all into the dresser. Now, at the end of the video, towards the end, I did find another box of games, and so we didn't have room for that, but I'm working on another project, a surprise project, especially for the husband, so I'm hoping that I will be finding an alternative space for his game, so stay tuned in the coming weeks and months for that surprise. But I was just blown away at how much space we freed up, and it just ended up looking, the area just looked so much better. I feel like I got so lucky in this drawer. I was actually able to take the games and stand them up and create a little bit of additional room. And so I was able to fit a few more games in there. But like I said, I found that other box. And so I'm going to have to work on something else, to another spot to store these games, so it's not just sitting on the floor in a cardboard box. But we got all done with the dresser, and I was like, you know what, I still have about another 45 minutes I can work over here. So we just started tackling all of these boxes that are piled up underneath his desk, and I would say about half of it was just trash. One whole box I found was paper that had like meeting notes, the minutes from their community, like little meetings that they had back in 2020. So those are definitely not relevant anymore. And it was like maybe a paragraph worth of information that was printed on one sheet of paper. And so there are several sheets of paper for each meeting times several months, several years. It was a lot of paper. I found a lot of blank discs. I'm not sure that those are getting used at all. I think that's going to have to be a conversation I have with him going forward. I know he's very, very reluctant to let go of anything in that category. From what the wife tells me, I don't think that he's, copying anything to these discs. I would say most people use like flash drives or thumb drives if they need to store any information. So that is a conversation I will leave to the future. It is just a very sensitive category, so I just left it as it was. But we were able to go through, at least look at all of these boxes and make some quick decisions. And again, me and the wife were working at like sonic speed here. I was literally sweating up a storm. And through this second day, I think I got rid of maybe additional 3 black bags full of trash. Now, I couldn't fill them all the way to the brim because I did have to be able to launch them up over into the dumpster. So I do not have any upper body strength. So I had to make sure I could carry it out and get it into the dumpster. But they were about 3/4 of the way full, and tons of donation boxes. Like my whole trunk was full. The back seat was full. And at the end of it, when the husband came home, he was actually super happy with how everything looked. And I always get a little nervous. I don't want to shock anybody by, oh my gosh, it looks so bare. I know that can kind of be something that's a little shocking when you're used to seeing a bunch of stuff and then all of a sudden you're not seeing the stuff anymore, even if it's trash. You just kind of get accustomed to how the space is and how you function in that space. But he was really, really happy with it. So I hope my surprise that's coming for him doesn't shock him too much. This is when I found the extra box of games and I was like, you know what? I have nowhere else to put it. It's just going to have to go back, and that's fine. So we got a project coming up and I am super excited about it. So this is the end of the second day, and I just want to leave everything as absolutely clean as possible as I can. So just wrapping up and getting all of the newly exposed floor a good vacuum. And then you will see the before. As you can see, there was tons of stuff, tons of boxes all over the floor. Everything was really crammed around that dresser in the back, and her desk was very, very cluttered. And we made just so much progress. I am so proud of the work that we did. And now you can see the floor is a lot more clear, a lot less stuff that are piled up on top of the dresser and on top of her desk. And definitely some progress on the husband's desk. Now, this is the closet that I am going to be working on next. I am so excited to get in here and get this organized because everything is literally spilling out of the closet to where the sliding doors cannot shut properly. They are being pushed out and off the track. So I was able to track down some storage solutions on Facebook Marketplace, and I'm really hoping that they'll work. Just super excited to get in here and make some sense of all the space, use the space more efficiently. I'm sure there's going to be lots of trips to the dumpster and Goodwill. Thank you so much for watching, everyone.